It's Monday, so reform needs to be on the airways as much as possible, and as usual Richard Tice walked into Times Radio expecting a soft chat. Instead, he actually got a reality check. Remember those flashy reform pledges at the last general election? 90 billions of tax cuts, all within the first 100 days? Well, when asked if those promises still stand, suddenly they're not pledges anymore, they're aspirations, which is a politician's way of saying, we're lying. But it sounded good on a leaflet.
You promised in that manifesto that these reforms would happen in the first 100 days, and these are hugely attractive to lots of people. I just want to go through, there are 5 of them, which are key economic pledges to people, to sort of everyday people. And I want to find out whether these still stand. To lift the income tax start point to £20,000 a year within the first 100 days, is that still the plan?
As an aspiration, that is absolutely the plan, the principle behind it. But we cannot do any of this, given the state of the finances, until we deliver on the savings and prove
so that's
everything.
Fine.
Everything. But that is an aspiration.
So that's not in the first 100 days.
So here's the first trick: promises magically downgraded to wishes. Reform's 100-day plan isn't worth the paper it was printed on, because when pressed, Tice admits, they weren't actual commitments, they're just principles that might happen at some undefined point in the future, which basically means vote for us because maybe you'll get something someday, if we feel like it, possibly. But then we get to councils, and this is where we can actually start seeing what they would do if they were in government. Tice boasts that reformed councils are saving hundreds of millions, but when the interviewer points out that the same councils are still hiking up council tax, his defence completely collapses.
We're making hundreds of millions of savings in what I've said is the mismanagement of the local government pension schemes. There's billions of savings.
So why are those councils still increasing council tax?
Let me just finish. Because the government is putting on statutory obligations primarily through the SEND system, which is actually in the process of bankrupting many, many councils. That's why the government is going to be doing a white paper on SEND.
See, reform here, they're running around claiming they've cracked the code on government waste, and yet ordinary people are still paying more. This should be a massive red flag for literally everybody. And when pressed for an example how they'd save money, Tice doesn't talk about banking reform, he doesn't talk about housing, he attacks GDPR, data protection. Apparently, Britain's entire economic crisis boils down to people having too much privacy. Imagine standing on the doorstep and saying, sorry love, can't afford your heating bill, but at least we've scrapped those pesky pop-ups.
Because we will completely, boldly change the way that the government functions, the way the civil service functions.
So what do you mean by that? The government would stop doing things that it does at the moment. Is that right?
There are a whole range of things, frankly, that the government does at the moment, the regulations provide, that are a hindrance to productivity, a hindrance to growth.
Like what? Could you give us one example?
Yeah, I'll give you a simple example. What help is GDPR? It's a nightmare. It's an unproductive nightmare that damages, in particular, healthcare, right? So, and I've seen that in my own constituency. So there's a whole range of stuff.
How are they being taken seriously by anybody?
Is a one-off wealth tax a good idea?
No, it's a terrible idea. All the evidence around the world shows that, and people row back from it. It's an appalling idea. What reform will do is we will attract back all of the successful people, the entrepreneurs who are leaving the country, fleeing the country in fright at the increased taxes from this government.
They're now saying the economic world has changed. It hasn't really changed, but they're now, it's a different pitch they're making, isn't it? They've changed their pitch rather than the economics, I would suspect.
Yeah, there's definitely a change of heart going on there. And you heard those 5 major pledges, most of them retail offers to people in that manifesto in 2024, do not now stand in the first 100 days.
And that there is the beauty of this interview. Kate Ferguson didn't need to go in hard and aggressive. She just calmly asked, you promised 5 things, do they still stand? And one by one the pledges crumbled. In the end, Times Radio had to say it out loud. Reform hasn't changed the economics, they've just changed the pitch, which in a sense is a polite way of saying they're still reckless. They've just stopped admitting it on air. Mostly. Unless they're useless in front of the camera, then you can definitely tell they're still reckless. But overall, reform came here to look credible. Instead, they left looking like amateurs. Because if your serious, straight-talking image can be undone by a couple of softly spoken questions on Times Radio, maybe you were never really that serious in the first place. And if you actually want to see what it's like when Richard Tice falls apart live on air, well, you need to check out the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.